we're back in the STEM lab. We've got another really fun, exciting experiment to do with you. Can I have a drum roll, please, Mrs. Dad? We're making Play-Doh!
I love Play-Doh. So guys, remember this is part of our All Mixed Up Science unit, where we are talking about mixtures and solutions in everyday life. So this is going to be something that you can be doing at home with things in your kitchen.
And if you haven't already, boys and girls, please hit that like and subscribe button. And down below, there's a bell. You'll get notifications if you hit that bell as well when we upload new content. To make Play-Doh, boys and girls, you're going to first have to ask your mum and dad for permission to use these ingredients. The first ingredient is cream of tartar. The second one is plain flour, table salt, food colouring, vegetable oil. You'll need a cup measure, a tablespoon, a big tub to measure your Play-Doh, to make your Play-Doh in. You'll also need 2 cups of boiling hot water. So this is where an adult must be with you to make this. The boiling hot water will be put in last, and then the parent will have to mix it until it cools down. So please make sure you get your parent or guardian's help.
The first step is to get 2 cups of plain flour. So I'm going to open my flour up. Get my cup measure, and I'm going to measure it over the tub so I don't make much mess. Make sure I've got a proper cup. 1 cup. Now I need another cup. First step done.
The second ingredient, boys and girls, is table salt. And it says to have a cup, but I never put a full cup in because it's a lot of salt to waste. So I put in about half a cup of salt. The salt is there to keep the bacteria from the Play-Doh. It helps it stay fresh and healthy on your hands. It's going to take a long time to pour it in. So I've taken the lid off the salt and I'm going to pour in just about that much salt. You can see it's not quite up to the top. You've still got a little bit left.
Step 4 is to mix the dry ingredients together. And we know that these ingredients are dry because if I pick them up, it doesn't leave my fingers all wet. So I'm going to mix all the dry ingredients together.
This is a great thing to take turns with if you've got other people helping out. Everyone loves to mix these dry ingredients together.
It's very fun. Would anyone else like to have a go?
It's okay.
You can keep going, Miss Flanagan.
I think that is mixed up enough. Awesome.
The next step we're going to do is mix the food colouring and the boiling hot water. This water is really hot, so this is a part for an adult to do. They might let you, if you're a bit older, they might let you pour this in, but definitely not mix it up. So we pour the pink food colouring into the water. You'll see the water dispersing all of our food colour. I think we're going to go a little bit pinker than that.
Wow.
And then Miss Khan can mix it up.
Can we have a look at that? A little bit.
Wow.
It's not totally mixed up together, but do we need to mix this or not?
We don't have to mix that, Miss Khan, but we only leave that to sit for a minute, and we'll put the vegetable oil in next.
Okay.
Could you please read off the ingredients there, how much vegetable oil we need to put in?
Okay, we need 2 tablespoons.
So we're going to get our tablespoon measure, and we're going to pour that into our dry mixture. This is our first wet ingredient. There's 1, 2. Boys and girls, if your Play-Doh looks dry at the end, or if you play with it a lot, you might need to add some more oil to keep it nice and smooth for you to play with. That's a little tip at the end. If you play with it a lot, you might need to add a little tiny bit more oil. Now it's time to add the boiling hot water into our dry ingredients and then mix, mix, mix. Miss Flanagan, you're going to have to use your muscles when you're mixing this.
Right.
It does take a bit of effort to get all of that together.
I'll get straight into it. Got to make sure all the dry ingredients are mixing in with the wet ingredients.
It doesn't much look like Play-Doh yet.
And you could choose another colour if you wanted. You don't have to have pink Play-Doh.
What colour would you choose if you could choose any colour, Miss Khan?
I think I might even mix two colours together.
Wow. I would love green Play-Doh because then it would look a bit like slime.
Yeah.
Miss Flanagan and Miss Khan, I would actually put some beads and glitter in my Play-Doh.
Do that as well.
Absolutely. You can make it sensory Play-Doh. Now, our Play-Doh is looking very, very damp.
Very damp.
We may need to add something different. Yeah.
More dry ingredients.
What do you think we might need to use? A bit more flour?
I think maybe a bit more flour just to thicken it up, or maybe some more cream of tartar to make it more gooey.
We are going to put some more plain flour in.
Wow.
And a part of being a scientist is adjusting your experiments to really make sure that they're working for you.
It's definitely thickening up now. Getting a bit more
Would you like me to have a turn at mixing, Miss Flanagan? Your arms must be getting very tired.
No, getting a bit tired. Thank you, Miss Luxford.
So I'm going to get into these corners down here and make sure all of the flour is away from the corners. And because I'm a grown-up, I can feel with my hands that the Play-Doh is actually pretty warm, but safe enough for me to touch. So it's not going to burn my hands if I get in there and give it a squeeze, which we might just have to do in a minute. Because you can see, boys and girls, that it's forming into a bit of a clump as it's cooling down. We may need to add a little bit more flour, but I think it's going to turn out to be really nice, smooth Play-Doh. All right, I'm going to tip it out onto our table now, and we are going to see if we can mix it and add a little bit more flour so it's not quite as sticky. Go on in, Miss Flanagan.
All right. Get all my fingers in there, mix it together. Play-Doh is so much fun. It's still a little bit sticky. Might need a bit more flour. Thank you, Miss Luxford.
Now, I think what has happened when we've made our Play-Doh is we haven't got quite enough cream of tartar, and we also haven't got our water really, really boiling hot. We got our water ready a bit too early. So when the water is boiling hot, it makes a chemical reaction with the flour and the cream of tartar that binds our Play-Doh together. If you're at home, you can actually cook this Play-Doh on a cooktop. If you Google some recipes about cooked Play-Doh, this is the same recipe, but you put it on your stovetop and you can mix it as it's cooking. The cooked Play-Doh lasts a little bit longer as well because it heats up the flour and makes it a bit more, the preservative in the salt makes it a little bit more beneficial. But this Play-Doh here is the non-cook version, and this is the one I make with my kids at home. And we do add lots of glitter, and we might add beads or even tiny little dinosaurs sometimes, and we sort of play hide and seek with this Play-Doh. We can also build sight words with this Play-Doh. We do lots of activities, or we just like to create as well. How's it feeling, Miss Flanagan?
Bit less sticky now with the extra flour. Still not as much leaving on my hands now, which is great.
Can I get half of it?
Yep.
So there's a special technique called kneading. And when you're making bread or pasta at home, sometimes you need to knead. It's a push down, fold over, and push back down. So you're folding over and pushing back down, and that will end up making your flour mixture, your Play-Doh, really nice and stretchy. So when we knead our Play-Doh, it combines together and makes it nice and stretchy. The gluten in the flour gets activated, and we can We can stretch it out like a dough.
You're an expert at Play-Doh, Mrs. Luxford.
I really do like making Play-Doh. It's one of my favourite things. This is the same way if you, instead of adding salt and cream of tartar, and if you add eggs, this is the way I make pasta at home.
This is the way that we make like rotis. Do you know what rotis are?
No, I don't, Miss Khan. Could you tell me about that?
They're like a flat bread, like a how would you describe? What do you call those? A kebab bread.
Oh, okay.
It's like that.
Yum.
I make them all the time.
So we can use science in our everyday lives, in the kitchen especially. I use lots of science, measuring and weighing ingredients to make the perfect meal. We can also use science like this in the bathroom. Have you ever had a bath bomb, Miss Flanagan?
Oh, and when you put it in the bath, it all explodes and all fizzes out and makes
Absolutely.
bubbles.
That's science
Very
as well.
cool.
We're using our science in our everyday lives. Now, thanks for staying with us, boys and girls. If you've made this along with us, you should have some Play-Doh that you can play with at home as well. Our Play-Doh has come together really nicely. It's warm and pink.
Not so sticky anymore.
It's quite
not at all.
stretchy,
Yeah.
but not sticky. And we
Not
could
getting stuck on our fingers.
Yep.
we can roll it into balls. We can squeeze it into sausages, and it stays together really nicely. You could make a pretend pizza with your Play-Doh and send
I
that
might make
picture
a-
to your teacher.
Little year 2 word.
A Year 2 sight word, Miss Flanagan.
Yep.
What's your sight word going to be? And I can help make a letter.
I'm going to make the word the. It's nice and easy.
That's going to be the part of the H, Miss Flanagan.
Alright.
Look at us go.
It's really nice working together.
Amazing.
Look what I'm making. I should turn it
Ooh.
around.
I can see Miss Khan has made a 2. I wonder what she's going to put at the end.
Maybe you can help me with the letter. Oh, can I steal that one?
Of course you can. I can guess. It's not too. It's not too cool. There we go.
Ta-da!
Play-Doh, yay.
Play-Doh is done. Well done, boys and girls. Let us know if you have made this Play-Doh or if you really enjoyed your video. Email your teachers and let us know.
And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now that our experiment is finished, boys and girls, it's time to do a reflection. So on a scrap piece of paper or on OneNote, or you can email your teacher the answers to these questions. Question 1. Use scientific language to describe your Play-Doh. And question 2. Write down 2 more mixtures you use in your everyday life.